What is going on? This is Cody, and I am broadcasting from the Seacrest Studios here at Children's Hospital, Colorado. I have got a very special treat for you. It is another special edition of the latest news to keep you in the groove with Maya. Maya, why is this edition so special?
Because Josh Peck is calling in.
Josh Peck, welcome.
Oh, thank you. I'm so happy to be here. This is a highlight of my Tuesday.
Well, we are so glad. Maya, take it away, girl.
This is the highlight of my week, so.
Maya, I was hoping you were going to say highlight of your month, maybe half a year, but I'll take week. I will take the week.
Okay. Okay, yes, highlight of my month.
All right.
My first question for you is, when did you first know that you wanted to be an actor?
Oh, that's a great question. You know, my mom is kind of a performer, and even though her main job throughout life has been as a headhunter, finding people jobs, but I think she was always like a secret performer, which is why whenever we were like at a family holiday event, she'd always, start singing at the dinner table, which was incredibly embarrassing as a young boy, but now I've grown to love it. And so I think I inherited that from her. And also, I grew up when I was younger, I was kind of chubby. And I think like most kids, I use comedy as kind of like a defense mechanism a little bit. And so I just wanted to be able to make people laugh, to kind of take the attention away from me. So I started kind of developing this skill early on.
Oh, cool. So what inspired you to start your YouTube channel, Shua Vlogs?
Well, I think, I've been really lucky to make some movies and television, and it's so fun. But Maya, it takes forever. Like, you have so little control as an actor. And then if you're lucky enough to get a job, you do it for 2 or 3 or 8 months, like I just did with Turner and Hooch. And then you wait a long time and it comes out and you hope that people like it. And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But I think for me, what was exciting about YouTube and when I started on social media with Vine, which if anyone out there who's listening remembers Vine, I miss it. It no longer exists. But what was exciting for me was like I could shoot something on my phone and edit it together and upload it in the same day. And I was instantly getting feedback from my audience, getting to entertain people, hearing what you guys liked, what you didn't like. And that was super exciting for me because I never had that power before.
Oh, cool. You were in James Corden's video, Boys to Menorah, which is one of my favorite videos and my family's favorite videos. So,
all right.
I watch it all the time, and then we watch it a lot, and we always crack up. And so I was wondering, how did you get through that with a straight face?
Well, let's be honest, Maya. There's a lot of good Christmas songs, and there ain't enough good Hanukkah songs. We have like one, which is the Adam Sandler Hanukkah song.
Yeah. And I mean, no offense to him, but that's not even like my favorite song. So
exactly. So, I feel like we really had a gap in the market of, festive holiday tunes that weren't solely for Christmas. So, when I got invited to do that, I was like, basically, James Corden was like, I want to put together a Jewish boy band. So it's going to be you and Charlie Puth and Chris Mintz-Plasse and Zach Braff. And I was like, perfect. That could either be a Jewish boy band or the Jewish Avengers. And we're going to write this song. And it was such a cool experience. I mean, obviously James Corden is like a master at that stuff. And we recorded the song, all of our parts, learned the dance, and shot the whole video in like 3 hours on a Friday. And I'm so proud and honored to be a part of that video. But you're right, it's hilarious.
Yeah, and when it came out, we were also happy there was another Hanukkah song out. That
Totally.
and it wasn't because some I do like the poppy Christmas songs because it's pop music, but this is my favorite song. So
yeah, I mean, there's dreidel but there's not a lot of good, there's just not a lot of bops. There's not a lot of good, Hanukkah hits.
Yeah. Yeah, I recently found the song on Spotify, so I added it to all of my playlists 10 times. And I think I do know all the words to the song, so.
Oh, I love that.
So you were also in the Nickelodeon series, Drake and Josh. And my sister and I loved that show. When you look back, what was your favorite part about working on that show?
I think growing up for me, the shows on Nickelodeon were my favorite things. I know there's hopefully, a good amount of kids listening to this now. And so this might be probably before their time, but when I was a kid, my favorite show on Nickelodeon was something called All That, which was like Saturday Night Live, but for kids. And I dreamed of that because I love that show. I love the Amanda Show, Keenan and Kel, Good Burger. These were it was such escapism for me. And I would study the performances and watch people like Keenan and Kel and just sit there in awe of how funny they were and how cool they looked. And so getting to do Drake and Josh was literally, I don't know, if you're in the theme parks, getting to work at Disneyland all day. I just couldn't believe that I was getting to be on a set doing the thing that I loved and getting paid for it, which is awesome. So I just think that there were so many moments, whether I was hitting Oprah with my car or the pool episode, or when we lost the baby on the roof because of the catapult. There were so many episodes where I just every day I couldn't believe that I was getting to do the kind of comedy that I love watching.
Oh, cool. Yeah, you had mentioned all these shows being an escape. That's what TV shows are for me. They're just such an escape from anxiety and just everything going on. And comedy is I just love watching it because you just get out of your head and you just, for however long it is, you can just forget about everything and just laugh. So
that totally, I mean, that's at the end of the day, I think we as performers, that's our job. And that's what people hopefully me or, great performers like Oprah and even, someone like Ryan Seacrest, whose studio we're broadcasting from. It's really cool when people can kind of allow the audience to lose themselves in this world that they've created and kind of forget their worries, forget their troubles, and just be transported.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, you've also been in lots of other things, including Grandfathered and the Ice Age movies, and so much more. Is there a role that you've connected with the most?
Well, I think you mentioned Grandfathered, which is a show I made on Fox a few years ago, where I played John Stamos' son. And for anyone listening, if you haven't heard of it, it's because it's very canceled. But for one season, we got to do it, and it was super fun. And I think just getting that was one of my first roles as an adult, where it was a half-hour comedy, It was on Fox. It was super smart, super it just well written, and I got to hang around John Stamos all day, so that's a bonus.
Cool. Yeah. So I love your new series, Turner and Hooch. My family and I watch it together. I mean, we watch like everything together. So, and so yeah, we watch this show together. And one of my favorite episodes from the ones that have aired so far is the second one. That's kind of like the spoof on Die Hard.
Right.
I was wondering, have you had a favorite episode that you filmed?
Yeah, the Die Hard episode. So Turner and Hooch is a new show that I have on Disney Plus, and it's a remake of the movie from the 80s with Tom Hanks. And I'm basically playing a U.S. Marshal. So I am like this federal law enforcement agent, and I find myself every episode getting into some new sort of trouble. So the second episode that you mentioned was super fun because it was like a bit of a Die Hard spoof. And we've actually done that with about half the episode. So one episode is a Fast and Furious kind of homage. One is kind of like Taken. So all those episodes, I think, were the most fun because I would like try to do a bad impression of Liam Neeson or Bruce Willis or whoever I was like kind of playing.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So, what is it like to have a dog as a co-star? I mean, it seems like it would be so much fun. So I hope you like dogs.
I love dogs. Our dogs are awesome. They are not known for being the most trainable breed, so they kind of do whatever they want. But that's not much different than many of my co-stars in the past.
On your podcast, Curious with Josh Peck, you have such interesting conversations. I mean, I love your podcast. And yeah, I can like sort of relate to it because that's one of my favorite parts of doing interviews, just getting to know the person. I was wondering what made you want to start your podcast?
Well, it's a great question. And I think maybe you and I will, we might see eye to eye on this as two interviewers, but I'm fascinated by people. I'm super curious. And I love to steal from people, like in the sense of whenever someone has great insight into the way they approach their work or life or relationships or what have you, I want to know about it. I'm all into life hacks and optimizing, like how to be our best selves. So I had these lists of people that I would have loved to chat with and have lunch with, but I'm not sure they would have said yes to lunch because I'm a stranger. But,
you're stranger danger.
Exactly. I'm stranger danger. And why would they want to go like share a Caesar salad with me? So instead, I started the podcast because it then became mutually beneficial. I could introduce a microphone into the mix. We could sit for an hour. They could chat, publicize whatever they wanted to talk about. And I could get as much info and insight as I wanted from them. And because of that, I've gotten to interview really interesting people like Damon John and Phil Rosenthal and Laird Hamilton and Zach Braff and Nikki Glazer and just really cool, interesting people that I might not have had the opportunity to talk to otherwise.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So how do you prepare for your podcast?
I probably should prepare more, to be honest. It's definitely not my strength because preparation sometimes feels like homework, but that's no excuse. But I'll do like I learned through, I'm not a great reader, but I learn a lot through listening, and I listen to a lot of podcasts. So sometimes what I would do is I would listen to 2 or 3 podcasts that they had been on previously. And then I'll learn about the person, and then also, sort of flag questions that they get all the time. So then I could try to think of questions other than that.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I like do the same thing, and if I want to ask somebody a question, I make sure they haven't been asked that like 10 times before.
Thank you. On behalf of everyone, thank you, Maya. That's, it's always like, I feel like the Turner and Hooch question I get all the time is like, what's it like taking over for Tom Hanks? And I'm like, I don't know. It's so intimidating because Tom Hanks is like the Michael Jordan of acting, where you just kind of go like, well, I hope he doesn't hate me. I hope he's happy with my portrayal of his character.
So, sorry, I have to turn the page.
No worries.
Questions. What song do you have on repeat on your favorite?
Oh man, I've been listening to that song "Stay" by the Kid Laroi and Justin Bieber.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty good. I didn't get the censored version though, and sometimes I played around my son, who's 2.5, so I quickly realized that's a mistake. But still a great song. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, that's kind of been the one.
Oh, cool. Yeah, my mom actually used to do that with me and my sister when we were younger. She'd hear a song and she wouldn't listen to the words. She'd just listen to the beat. And so then she'd download the song, and it would come on when we were in the car, and she'd finally hear it, and she'd turn it off really fast because she'd be like, this is not a song we want to be listening to.
Sounds like me. I know your mom's pain. I've been there.
So if you could hang out with any fictional character, who would it be and why?
Any fictional character?
Yeah.
Wow, that one, I would probably say Harry Potter would probably be pretty awesome. It'd be cool to hang out with him and kind of, I'd just be like, just give me a show, Harry. Let me see what you got. Like, maybe we could crack open a couple butter beers, get kind of weird, and just put some people, like use the magic wand to make people do funny stuff.
Yeah, I love that answer. So what do you do to cheer yourself up when you're having a bad day?
I would say, for me, honestly, the best thing is going for like a run or trying to do something active, because I feel like if you can like get a little bit of a sweat going, it just helps to like change your body chemistry and get some of those good sort of endorphins flowing. And also I just try to like, if I'm ever like, usually when I'm frustrated or I'm having a bad moment, it's because like I'm really focused on me. And so I try to like think about who in my life could I, even just give them a call and try to take interest in someone else. And the best remedy sometimes is like, oh, can I help someone else? Is there somebody who needs me to do them a favor or just might need a little help? Or I'll call my mom and be like, hey, do you want me to help you get on the, program your smart TV? Because my mom is not great with technology.
Yeah, my mom isn't either. So
I don't think any moms are.
Yeah. Yeah. I love going for walks with like my family and their dog. She's so much fun in like the snow, and because she just jumps around. And but our joke is always like none of us like running, and so our joke is always like only run if someone's chasing you.
That sounds about right. Yeah, I'd subscribe to that. Yeah, running's a really dumb activity. I don't know why I do it.
Yeah. So what personality trait has gotten you in the most trouble?
Oh boy, I just think I talk too much all the time, and that's why it's so great to have a wife, because she's like very she's just very the opposite of me in that way. Like she's wonderfully reserved and is good at biting her tongue. But I like to just throw out opinions. I'll be like, you know what you should really do, and then I'll just feel my wife go, and I'll be like, not listen to what I'm about to say. Sorry, I said anything. So it's good to have someone who kind of watches your back like that.
Yeah, my sister and I always make fun of our mom because we say, like, she says it too. She doesn't have a filter, so she just says like whatever's on her mind. And sometimes she'll say something in public, and then she'll stop and be like, "Okay, I probably shouldn't have said that out loud." And so my sister and I love to make fun of her for it, but then like we turn around and do the same thing. And so we realize, oh, we probably shouldn't have just said that.
Been there.
Yeah, so we're always like, oh no, we're turning into our mom.
I think we all say that for our whole life. It's the worst thing about getting older is you're like, oh my gosh, I am my mom or I am my dad. It's weird. My wife will tell me that too. She'll be like, you sound just like your mom. And I'll be like, who asked? Who asked you?
Yeah, which then we always tell our mom, like, no, it's a good thing we're turning into you.
Right.
But yeah, we love to make fun of her for her no filter. So is there a show that you're currently binge watching?
Yeah, right now I'm watching Backyard Bar Wars on True TV with my wife. It's a really good show. This comedian, Chris DiStefano, is the host, and I just love him. And it's basically two people get like a contractor and some money to make like an incredible backyard bar. And so like there's a theme, and every episode, like, and then if your bar doesn't win, there's like some punishment, like you have to sit in like an ice bath or something. But it's overall pretty good programming. What about you, Maya?
Teen Wolf.
Ooh, okay, nice.
Yeah, we're binge watching that, and then my sister kind of got tired with it, so now my mom and I are binge watching it. And we actually, my sister and I were gonna go somewhere tonight, but I was like, yeah, I don't know, I'm not feeling great. And my mom said, if you stay home, we can binge watch Teen Wolf. I was like, yes, that sounds so much better. I'm staying home.
Good for you. I support it.
Thank you. And then we're watching Turner and Hooch. I'm so mad that we can't just binge watch that because we want to.
I don't know. That's definitely, you're not alone, Maya. And people love binge watching, but we're making you wait for it. One a week, Wednesdays on Disney Plus.
Yeah. I actually like when you have to wait for a week, because then you don't rush through it all. Like there are shows on Netflix we'll watch, and then like maybe we'll be done in like a week or so, but then or 2 weeks, and then we're like, what do we watch now?
Right. Oh yeah. There's nothing worse than finishing a show that you love, because you're like, now I have to like sit with my thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah. And I always like I don't know, I need some sort of noise on, like whether it's watching something or like music. And my mom always gets kind of not always, but sometimes she gets annoyed with me that I always need something on. I'm like, I need it on because if it's not on, I get in my head and then I start like spiraling and get into a ball of anxiety. So I'm like, I need something on so I don't get trapped in my thoughts.
Totally. No, I get it. We need a distraction, and mom needs to know that.
Yeah. So my last question for you is, who do you consider to be a real life superhero and why?
Wow. I would say a real life superhero to me, I know it's like a corny answer, and I would imagine you've gotten this before, but like, I'm just in awe of like doctors and, physicians, nurses, everyone who works at a hospital. It just takes like, and just in the medical field, it just takes so much dedication early on in your life, the amount of studying and qualifying that it takes. And, when someone, I had like some injuries to my legs when I was 21, where I had to like be in a hospital for over 2 weeks. And I just remember like having, certain nurses would like, when they were working on those days, it would like change my whole mood for the day, because they would just make me feel so comfortable, so great. And, and obviously I was saved by doctors who intervened and like did surgery on my legs and whatnot. And so I just think like, they're totally real life superheroes for sure.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And yeah, nurses, like they can like change your whole mood and your whole day around. So
oh yeah, one of the nurses, her name's Narissa, shout out Narissa, she would bring me like at like 10 o'clock at night. I would be like lonely, like, because my mom would go home and I would feel like kind of sorry for myself, and she would come in my room and be like, hey, the staff, like, we ordered a pizza, do you want a slice? And I was like, that's why you're my favorite nurse.
I love that. Okay, sorry, I just lost what I was about to say. So now I'm just like, I'm just kind of sitting here like, sorry, I can't remember. So,
No worries.
Well, this was just the highlight of my whole week, my whole year. So thank you.
Thank you, Maya. Awesome job. You're awesome at this, really. I'm so impressed. And it's such a highlight and pleasure to meet you.
Oh, thank you.
Josh, thanks for spending so much time with us. And just know that if you're ever in Colorado near Children's Hospital, we'd love to have you stop by. I'm sure the kids would love to meet you.
Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, Josh. Have a good day.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.